this school year directly enabled those students to be involved in the orchestra program. The support provided by the district office, site administrators, and the Committee for the Arts was especially important at Dixon Elementary, where the majority of our low-income students who would not otherwise have been able to participate benefited from the district's instrument loan program. Orchestra classes began in the fall of 2014, with half of the practices taking place after school. In December and January, each school's orchestra group gave its debut performance in the form of a winter concert, where audiences were treated to such classics as Jingle Bells and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. In January, thanks to Mr. Joseph's help, orchestra students from all three schools were able to attend a concert given by the Claremont Symphony Orchestra. The students' first opportunity to perform outside of their own school was in this room at the April school board meeting. In May, the students came together to have a highly successful performance at Ayala High School at the district's annual band showcase. The Eagle Canyon Orchestra students also participated in their school's 25th anniversary celebration. All in all, it was an extremely positive and exciting first year. Thank you so much.
Before I start what we're going to do in the future with Strings Attached, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge someone in the room who's very special to every teacher who's ever worked with her. And when the teacher grapevine went out, Pat Miller is retiring. Oh my gosh. No, was the cry from all of us. And I've just had the pleasure working with her very intimately the last 10 years as my teacher on assignment job. And she's the kind of principal that we all whispered about because she's innovative and she's an ally, and you want to go work at her school. So Pat, we wish you the best. On behalf of all the teachers who love you and my colleagues in particular in my department, we're going to miss you, but we wish you well. Okay, so great. In case you didn't hear, today the United States Senate passed the Bipartisan Elementary and Secondary Act, which they're calling Every Child Achieves Act. Did y'all hear that news today? Did you know that by naming music and arts as core subjects in this act, the Senate acknowledged today the importance of fine arts? So we're real excited as a committee to see where that goes.
Sorry, I'm a little animated.
Okay, so what's going to happen in the future? This is the exciting news. As with every program, it's never static. It either moves forward or it goes backwards. Well, we're happy to say this is going to move forwards. The orchestra program is going to grow into Canyon Hills, and we've already been approved to use some of that VAPA money that's in the 15-16 LCAP to purchase instruments for Canyon Hills. It's also going to move to the other three elementaries that are in the Ayala feeder group. So that would be Hidden Trails, Lytle, and Rolling Ridge. So we'll have 6 elementaries and 1 middle school. So give us a hand for that. At Canyon Hills, it'll be under the direction of Mr. Jeff Wiley. So that is great. Also, with the help of Dan Sosa, who we also love and adore, we're going to have a district orchestra concert, either in March or May. The music teachers are going to be deciding. And next week, we're also having interviews for replacement of the 2 music educators that we're losing. So we're moving really forward. But that's not all that happened this year. We also had other gems in the form of community partnerships. This gentleman, Matthew Keating, is the director of the Claremont Community School of Music. He came out to the 3 elementary schools and did assemblies to promote what is an orchestra, what is a cello, and it was so fantastic. And we also had Dr. Janine, I never know how to say her name, Riveria. She is the music educator at Cal Poly. She came and did a workshop for all of our music educators who were interested as well. Excuse me. So those were some of the other golden nuggets that happened with our orchestra program. Now, to end the story, in April, Jamie and I came to watch the orchestra kids play. And this was the most fantastic thing that we thought happened, and that was this. Kevin got up and acknowledged Jamie and I and said our names. One of the moms reached over and she said, kind of in her broken English, if my son hadn't had the orchestra, he wouldn't have wanted to go to school. So the orchestra program, we feel, changed lives, changed that family. So we thank you very much.
Mr. Na.
Yeah, I'd like to thank both of you, Sweat family. You are just wholesome, and your contribution throughout the years, I really appreciate that. And thank you, Carol, for your excitement. This is what we need. There are many bad news when we watch TV, and there's often that I would not watch TV for that reason. But you're a real live person, and you have that talent that you're gonna share. That's giving the positive energies for everyone. So thank you for your contributions here. Thank you.
Mr. Cruz.
Oh,
You didn't
I
push
just
it.
want to say one quick thing. It starts how we treat one another, and the way you project yourself, the way you treat our children, and how it begins with Mr. Joseph to kickstart it, because ultimately it's our faculty, our parents, and our children, and that is really the key. So, thank you.
And I just want to thank every committee member, and I know there are some outside of the room here, but you all have full-time jobs in this district or outside of this district. Manuela Echeverria is a teacher at Pomona Unified, and so you all do this on a volunteer basis after work, and you meet here and you make decisions on behalf of the students' needs. And so I want to thank you, and on behalf of the board, we really appreciate every volunteer, the hours that you are taking out of your own lives to ensure that the arts are provided to the students of Chino Valley Unified. So thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Going to try to stop me, but I do want to say one thing myself. As chairman, Carol has given so much of herself, more than any of the rest of us on the committee we've supported, but her heart and soul has been invested in this whole program. And without her leadership in these last 2 years, I don't know that we would have survived. So.
Very good.
Sure.
Just real quick, the bill, was that HR 5 bill that you brought up?
No.
Okay.
S1177.
Okay.
It passed 81 to 17 in the Senate.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Our next presentation recognition actually is one of those types of recognitions that will bring joy and tears to many of us. On tonight's agenda, the board is to approve the retirement of one of its longest serving employees. Tonight. Mrs. Pat Miller. She is calling it a day after many years of service to the Chino Valley Unified School District. Pat, would you please join me at the podium?
She thinks I'm gonna cry. I've got my speech too.
You brought me tissue, yay! So let's see if I get through all of this without crying. Mrs. Miller has devoted her time, wisdom, and personal being to this district, spanning some 39 years. Armed with her strong educational acumen and deeply rooted love for her community, she thoughtfully balanced local culture with the district's vision. Most of all, she provided, you would think I was retiring. She provided a steadfast and passionate commitment to raising achievement for all students. And for that, we thank her. Now let me share with you what her career looked like over 39 years. Pat started her career in 1976 as a science teacher at Magnolia Junior High School, and then as the reading specialist in 1978. February 1985 saw her as the AP at Cortez Elementary School for 2.5 years. 85. I graduated from high school in 85. In 1987, she served as the AP at the former Gerd Elementary School until she was appointed in 1988 as the principal at Glenmead Elementary, where she served for 13 years. Then on to Butterfield Ranch Elementary School for 6 years, taking it to the California Distinguished School status. Then finally to Levi Dickey Elementary School from 2007 to 2009 before she was appointed Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services to now. As if not enough, somehow she has found time to serve as an adjunct professor at Cal Poly Pomona and mentored many others who are now principals, directors, and assistant superintendents across California. It's hard to put into words what Pat has brought to Chino Valley Unified, but it is for certain that we can't thank her enough for her leadership and clear vision for the education of our students. I just want to say that recently I learned that my grandson was colorblind, and I just thought, first of all, he's a lefty, the only lefty in the whole family, and now he's colorblind, and we thought, I don't know how to help him in class. And Pat showed up with this book of how to address, and I just thought, is there a how-to for everything? Yeah. And I just thought, you know, it showed again her caring nature for every student. And so I appreciated you that day, and even more so as we've read the book. So Pat, on behalf of the Board of Education, please accept this gift in recognition of your wonderful 39 years of service to Chino Valley Unified School District. Here's your plaque. And a watch, not that you need to keep track of time anymore, but
No issue from my code. It's no longer important to me. Oh my gosh. Very nice. And on the back it says, "We love you, we love you, we love you. Miss you always, CVUSD."
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You don't have to put it on down here. I'll put it here. Okay, now on to your speech, and there's that.
Mrs. Blair, I think Champ wants to make a presentation.
Oh, before her speech? Oh, okay, got it. And I'm out of here before I start crying.
Oh, I just be between the two.
Really, these. Really,
Yeah, but
these
I didn't know
Kleenex
if
are
it
probably
was
for us. 21 years ago, I was appointed by this board to be the principal of Anna Borba, and I will never forget the very first phone call that I received sitting at my desk was a person, Pat Miller. And I said, hello, and she said, hi, I'm Pat Miller. You don't know me, but we're going to get to know each other very well. And she said, I don't know a whole lot, but I might know what you might need when you need it. So please.